Tonight, special double feature from director Eli Roth, The Green Inferno, a cannibal Holocaust homage. A group of activists lost in the Amazon River will be hunted down and eaten by cannibal tribe. Then, Knock Knock, horror thriller where a family man is kidnapped and tortured by two sexy ladies.
Well, you've guessed it, this episode will be some kind of a grindhouse special. I've seen those two horror thriller movies with my friend Jean-Yves. We've had a 3-part discussion on this episode. First, The Green Inferno, a movie that was released in 2013. Then, Knock Knock, a 2015 movie, and then we talked about Eli Roth in general, his work on those two movies, but also, his way of making movies now, which is pretty far away from the Hollywood scene. And it was a pretty good occasion to talk about what's happening in this horror genre in theaters right now. On another note, I've decided to focus those English-spoken episodes on movies that are available on demand or in Blu-rays, etc. Unfortunately for you English speakers only. If you want to have my reviews and discussions on new releases, you'd have to speak French to listen to the other episode on that. By the way, I'd like to apologize in advance if I have made too many mistakes in English. I'd like to remind you this is not my native language, but I'm hoping this will remain audible for you. No more talking. Just shut the fuck up, Arezki, now. I'm going to leave you and let you enjoy that episode. Do not forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and like the Facebook page. And of course, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Old homage to, because this is literally an homage to Cannibal Holocaust, which was like the cannibal movie of the 70s, 80s, I want to say. But yeah, it was a cool one to pal around, I guess.
Yes.
But not per se a great movie. Just before getting to the meat of this movie and talking about what the fuck is happening with those vegan tree huggers, I just want to play something because on the Facebook page I asked what's your favorite horror movie quote, and Gabrielle sent me this.
Do they float?
Oh yes. They float, Georgie. They float. And when you're down here with me, you float too!
So that was Stephen King's It that made me probably cry when I was a kid and really dread clowns for the rest of my life. Like right now, if I'm going to some kind of carnival or whatever, I just fucking hate clowns.
Did you see Shrink for that?
A team of psychiatrists for that. But yeah, good choice. And you told me that Stephen King saw The Green Inferno?
Yeah, he wrote quite a nice review about it. He said that the horror was there, was well carried out as usual with Eli Roth, and he said that the few gore scenes are very, very successful, and it's hard to look away. It's like, it's gruesome, it's awful, yet it's hard to look away. You have to see, you have this desire to I guess quench this thirst for gore.
That's technically a success for a horror movie, because if if you try to peek between your fingers when you hide your face, then it's good because you want to know what's happening, but it's going to be just horrible what you're going to see. But the story is about just a group of activists. We follow Justine,
Yeah.
who's not actually a part of this group of activists, but who will try to, make herself a place because she's kind of attracted.
Yes, she has a crush on the leader of the group,
Alejandro.
and he makes her
Charismatic
think that
guy.
she matters to the group, but we find out later that she was used because her father is a United Nations official.
Yeah.
And they use her fame to get attention on the CNN network or something.
That's the thing. So the goal of their action there is to go to Peru to try to stop a firm that is kind of
Cutting down trees.
Ongoing deforestation of the Amazon, and they're actually successful. Even though they put Justine in danger, they are successful, and the Alejandro character is revealed to be a fucking douchebag because he completely used.
He's such a prick.
Yeah, and put her at risk. But I guess I kind of have a little bit of sympathy for this guy because everything he says is actually the truth in this movie. So even though it sounds like he's just a psychopath, sociopath fucker, which he is, but everything he says is just the truth. Every time he opens his mouth, it's just but we did that, but now we're trending around the world, and now they're talking about Peru and the thing. So you knew you were in danger, but that's all.
This is typical Eli Roth stuff, isn't it? It's because throughout the film, he's going to make statements which are really relevant, and he's being hated for it because all the time it's about who's going to be eaten next. We'll come to that later. But anyway, it's very funny because there are always these moments where it's like, but I'm right. I mean, listen to me. It's really funny.
That's what I like too about Eli Roth. It's obviously we've known him first from Hostel, I guess internationally from Hostel. Because we are horror movie buffs, we knew him from Cabin Fever, which was like probably my favorite movie of his.
The mother of all horror films.
That's the best thing. Obviously, we knew right there and then, even Cabin Fever or Hostel, that he loved to play around the horror movie cliches. But also talk about the what's going on with the American youth, usually in their coming of age, I guess. So obviously the Hostel was the Cabin Fever was like the little bit of a spring break between friends in a cabin in the woods. Hostel was the year abroad, the sabbatical that everyone is supposed to take in America just after graduation and before college. And here it's in college. So what do you do when you want to look like an activist, someone who cares about the world? And so it's kind of funny because now you kind of see every step of the way of someone who's a teenage to someone who's going to an adult, but every time there's a horror movie inside, so that's kind of cool.
It's quite relevant what you say, because I think we can come back to this when we mention Knock Knock, but in that I like it in that Eli Roth is a true author, because it seems to me that he has something to say about these groups of people. It's always as if he's picking on certain groups. He's picking on this. There was, you mentioned Hostel. There was this post 9/11 thing with the when these American youth they woke up one day and realized that they were no longer kings of the words, and they could no longer backpack throughout the words, and they could be grabbed like this. That there was this this awakening of
the
American
fear of
tourists,
the
not
foreign.
of the American foreign, this rude tourist who no longer was secure and no longer could do anything he wanted. And there is this feeling, I find it in the Green Inferno.
The Green Inferno, perhaps the kind of overachieving people that are not that wants to be the moral high ground everywhere and in everything they do.
Yeah.
I guess that's. But even in that group of activists, he always finds someone who is also a cliche of some of those people, and he's picking on them too.
Yeah,
and he's killing them all.
And there is a sort of retribution. It's very fierce, and they, these group of people, because they it's like these college girls, like very obnoxious ones, who they on social medias they opine about what's wrong in the world, but they want to act. And they act in the film, but it's always with this shallow and minimal commitment, minimal involvement, and they get heavily spanked.
By the real world.
Yeah, it's like there is this heavy retribution.
Yeah. I guess you could say there's the whole arc of the movie is about if you want to really act.
Yeah.
Put your life really in danger and don't fucking cry if you get eaten by indigenous people, because that's their lives, I guess.
And what's really paradoxical when I watch this film is that I personally abhor and hate these kind of students as very obnoxious and unlikable. And at no moment during the film I felt sympathy for them. It's I mean, what's paradoxical, it's the same for Hostel, is that it's really awful, but he offers some sort of popcorny, enjoyable moments. You see what I mean? It's still an enjoyable movie. It's like popcorny or something.
Yeah. To continue to go on what you're saying, I guess. The difference between Hostel and this movie is you actually feel sympathy for the guys from Hostel, because you definitely identify to them, because you're like, what if I was in Bulgaria having some vacation, etc. But in this movie, and perhaps that's I guess voluntary, no one is presented as someone who's likable. Even the protagonist, Justine, is like, is not that likable. I guess she tends to be a little bit whiny, and you're like, you know what, fucking kill her, I don't care. So it's about just it's like a game. It just becomes a game where, oh fuck, I want this guy to be killed because he's fucking annoying. Boom, he gets killed. Oh, and this guy is fucking annoying too, he should be killed. And then boom, he gets killed too. So that's fun. It's just plain fun, because he doesn't want us to feel real. Perhaps that's what I would say is the downside of this movie, is the fact that since I don't feel sympathy for any of them, I don't feel the horror as much as if I really liked some character, and I would say like, no, don't kill him or her, because this was my favorite or whatever, and he just kills everyone that I want to see killed. So but I guess that's what he wanted to do.
Yes, really. For me, the pros and cons. Pros, really enjoyed this as a buddy moment. Cons, as far as the critical and satirical view goes, it's not that much depthful. It doesn't do much more than spanking his own characters. Really, it's like this big punishment, and it's about the same in Knock Knock. And to me, it's as though there is room for a deeper reflection, deeper thoughts, but it's not there. It's not really there.
Yeah, but it's not there, and I feel like he didn't want it there.
No,
too, because it's not like we know him, but
that's why it's a minor complaint.
Yeah, it feels like he knows how to do it. He just doesn't want to, and that's the thing. That's what we said during the screening of the movie. Is just like it feels like he just shot a movie with his buddies, with like friends he met in Barcelona, and just told them, hey, you know what, we should definitely do a movie together. Come, and that's that actually feeds the thing. And we said too, it's a low budget movie. It's only $6 million, I guess. Yeah, I'd like to have that money in my pocket, but for a movie, that's peanuts. And VOD movie, on demand. So that's the thing. You don't have the hassle of having a studio fucking around your script and everything. But you certainly have lesser goals, I guess, in your movie. But you know what? It performed kind of well. It's
not as though he's new at this. I mean, he's an experienced director, so he can be trusted with a couple of males, I guess. Yeah,
of course. But that's my thought about this. He doesn't want it. That's what I feel. It's like, you know what? I want to chill out a little bit with my Barcelona buddies. Just give me a couple of actors I really like to party with, and for a moment we'll go in the Amazon and shoot a cannibal movie, and for nothing, nobody will make me fucking review what I wrote with my buddies too, because it's always the same writer with him, who is, let me see, what's his name, Guillermo Amoedo, who actually co-wrote Knock Knock with him. So perhaps three more credit. Who co-wrote with Eli Roth. So it feels like just a moment of fun in his career, but I actually don't know if he will come back to the studio movies, or just bigger budget movies. Seems like he's thriving just doing this.
I mean, I don't know, because he's still a good card to be played by major studios, but the subgenre he's trying to get into is much of a VOD category. You know what I mean? It's he does. I don't think he wants to get out from this little window, and to me, it doesn't seem it's going to get back to the studio world.
Okay.
So very, very amusing film, and also a little small complaint I'd like to make. I thought it was very predictable, and it's the same complaint I have to make with Knock Knock. It's very, I mean,
you know where it's going.
Yeah, we know there are no surprises. Very predictable film.
There's even the scene. So just to get back on the story of the movie, it's after the plane crash, after having succeeded in their activist thing, the plane crashes. They're stranded in the jungle, and they're captured by indigenous people who will eat them. One arm and leg at a time, every time. So, and there's obviously the virgin. So the protagonist who will survive. So that's literally it has all the boxes of the horror, the classic horror movie checked. It's just the virgin survived, everyone is dead, and that's pretty much it. But that's the thing. again, I feel like he definitely wanted to do that. He didn't want us to be startled or surprised by anything in the script. He just wanted to do, you know what, that's my vision of a cannibal movie of the 80s, but now.
And I think he wants us to laugh as well, because there are always this... I do remember this scene where this guy is like Jonah.
Thanks, Jonah.
This guy is literally throwing up upside down in the plane, and you see all this this thing going to his hair. It's very gross.
Puke.
His puke, yeah. And also, what I really find funny is that the greatest horror scenes are always punctuated by a slight touch of humor. And I can think of the first really, really, really ghastly scene where this Jonah, thank you for being fat, Jonah, being eaten first, is being literally decapitated, and as his limbs are being hacked off, and you see this little girl running off with a leg and laughing, and you know this thing.
Yeah, it's over the top.
It's always over the top, yeah.
And that's the. I'm just thinking about the fact that every episode of the podcast that we do in English is always about things that are totally over the top. Yeah. In Brothers Grimsby and now this. But I think he kind of nailed it, because you know what, when you're having a beer and a burger and watching this movie, just have fun.
We should rename this the Over the Top podcast.
Over the top.
You know what, you are having a beer, a burger, what you need is just an over the top movie.
A couple of friends just laughing when you
so again,
you
really need to see this in the right situation. If you are in a jolly mood, good times with your friends, just
and obviously you
have
don't
it to go.
You're not afraid of gore. You're kind of used to it. That's actually a good movie, because what I found really bizarre was the fact that it's always kind of it has low grades, whether on IMDb or in Netflix, because you can find this movie in Netflix. Always low scores, but I guess, if you want to find a serious movie about a thriller, I guess in a jungle with some indigenous people, no, that's not it. That's a classic horror movie.
There is your answer.
Fun.
There is your answer for Eli Roth not being present anymore in the studios, because I think it's aimed at an advised audience. Yeah. These movies, so
he found his niche, I guess.
Yeah.
And everybody's following him.
Yeah.
Enough for him to provide any box office results that allows him to do another movie, and that's it. I guess he's having fun. And he's living his life. You know what? I'm actually follow him on Instagram. He's having fun. Don't worry about him. He just doesn't want to be under the spotlights that much, perhaps, and have the hassle of someone who's a James Swan or whatever in a big budget movie of the Fast and Furious. He's doing his thing, and he's having fun, and you feel it, and that's why, as an advertised audience, you kind of have fun with them if you know how to watch his movies. So let's talk about Knock Knock.
Okay.
Right now, let me talk about. Let me hear the synopsis of.
So
Knock
here's
Knock.
the plot synopsis from IMDb. Okay, so when a devoted husband and father is left home alone for the weekend, two stranded young women unexpectedly knock on his door for help. What starts out as a kind gesture results in a dangerous seduction and a deadly game of cat and mouse.
A deadly game of cat and mouse.
Sexy. Ooh, saucy.
So we found out yesterday that it was actually a remake of an old 77 movie.
Deadly game?
Death Game.
Death Game.
And we saw the trailer, who was really dated. That was like the pure 70s movie. You want some more rum? You fucking alcoholic.
I need some booze, man. Get this over with.
And, well, Knock Knock, starring Keanu Reeves. Keanu, we love you, you know that.
I really wonder how he wound up in this. I mean...
Yeah. What I know about Keanu Reeves, it's he actually lives off his last movie. That's the thing he does.
Yes,
it's
I know
like...
that.
Every time he does a movie, he earns, I don't know what he's worth, like probably
Which is
15
the complete
million.
opposite of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, because Nicolas Cage lives off his next 5 movies. He didn't do it. It's like, man,
I gotta do another Benjamin Gates movie.
I gotta fill my pool with gold. Oh, you mean the one in your castle in Spain? No, the other one. That's the thing. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is addicted to luxury. But yeah, that's not...
He could have been...
great dad
the
in
lead
Knock-
role. Nicolas Cage is
yeah.
the perfect daddy.
Oh yeah. You know what?
That would have
I can
worked.
see Keanu Reeves' rant at the end of the movie said perfectly by Nicolas Cage, by the way. Oh fuck yes.
Yes.
You know what? And we should do another remake with Nicolas Cage.
Exactly the same thing.
So yeah, that's I guess the synopsis was kind of good because
two sexy sleazy girls knocking on your door and knocking on your door
on a rainy
saying-
night.
On a rainy night. So this movie could have been renamed Free Pizza and Asthmatic People. Oh wow, it's so funny. Yeah, because at some point, okay, so the kind of thrill of the film is built up by the fact that we wonder, although we know that's what's funny, we wonder if Keanu Reeves is going to resist. Is he going to have sex with these girls because they are so coming on to him? So this is how it's built up. So he eventually has sex with them, and it's
that's the thing. It's kind of well not written, I guess, or because the savior of the 2 girls who are just lost somewhere in the suburbs of LA. Come on to him to the point where, well, actually, they kind of rape him.
Yeah,
that's the thing, because he's like, no, but at one point you have just 2 sexy girls sucking on your cock.
Yeah, they constantly push him over the edge, and he's a good dad. I mean, he's a good father. Is this archetype of the architect living in a suburb, whose wife is an artist, 2 lovely kids, and he really plays out as though he's going to resist. He's going to make it out of this.
Do we believe Keanu Reeves in this role, though? Because you remember I said, I don't believe that guy with that hair, with those hair, is a suburb dad. I said that, and just the scene after, his family was joking about his hair. So I feel like Keanu Reeves didn't want to have his hair cut, and they wrote around the fact that he has long hair. Because I don't know, it was like, do I believe that Keanu Reeves like that with this aesthetic was a suburb dad? I don't know.
Yeah,
it was kind of and also the dialogues in the beginning of the movie was like kind of, I guess, not enough cheesy or too it was
embarrassing.
Not a good acting.
It's embarrassing. It's like, this review we saw, it's like funny games with a barbecue sauce. It's this thing of it's embarrassing, but it's not enough. I mean, it's predictable. We do know they're going to push him over the edge. So there is this time thing where, I mean, it starts out by, hey, can I use your phone? Okay, can I use a computer? Okay, can I take off my clothes and use your dryer? Can you, you know? And it goes all the way to the shower. And the climax, the first climax is when the two girls are standing naked in the shower, boobs floating all over the place. And he's like, he's still a good daddy. He doesn't want to do it. And they literally both suck him off. And he goes, there is this whole question of the self-defense thing, because there's nothing much you can do. It's like the free pizza thing. And he has sex with both of them. And then the thing is, the next morning when he wakes up,
the two girls completely changed their behavior,
like lunatics.
Yeah,
and they mess over the house, and he can't get rid of them.
Yeah,
and he just desperately tries. This is the exaggeration of this guy who just cheated on his wife, and he can't really get rid of the mistress.
Yeah,
and this is taken over the top.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's it's the fact that he feels obviously guilt, but he's like, I'm not going to just let them, I guess, get rid of them too harshly, but they are actually really annoying. So he's starting to lose his patience, and at one point, you just realize that they are just complete cunts. Because he's like threatening to call the police, and they just tell him they're underage. But the day before they said they were flight attendants or whatever. But it's all about this kind of game between them of who can I tell about you to help me get rid of you, but at the same time you have me by the balls.
He's obviously trapped in this vicious circle, and it would have been interesting to see this film not knowing that it was an Eli Roth flick. You know what I mean? It's because it's so predictable, because we all saw the trailer and we know that they are going to torture him at some point. And there is this thing, this turn of events, when we do know that from the start they had planned to go all the way to the torture thing, but it would have been interesting to see the turn of events when they decide to go to the next step, because there are three phases. Phase 1, seduction, and then there is the sex, and then phase 2 is trying to get rid of them. And then the girl gets annoyed, and they embarrass him, and then they decide.
Come back.
Oh yes, they come back. So they leave
because they made him believe he succeeded in getting rid of them. Because he drove them somewhere in the city, and they actually broke in his house the same night to there was the night of the torture, I guess, because very interesting use of anything in the house as a rope, because it was an Ethernet cable, a hose, everything. That's MacGyver of the rope. Thing. And they torture him, but and I guess it's supposed to be some kind of critique of monogamy, or the belief that someone can stay with someone else for the rest of his life, and the suburb life in general, etc., etc. But I don't know if it kind of was a good point to make.
Well, there is a clear reference to the Ashley and Madison scandal, which hit America a couple of years ago. You know, this website for to perform infidelity, because there is a clear thing about adultery, infidelity, and we were talking about Hostel and the Green Inferno, and he always picks on these little traumas that America wakes up to, and when the Ashley and Madison scandal hit, a lot of people were truly scared because they woke up saying, I can be, this is it, I'm exposed. As he was picking on these obnoxious students for being remotely interested in global warming or something, global climate problems, now he is taking onto the men who cheat on their wives and get heavily spanked for it. And Kenny Reeves truly is smacked down by these two girls. And which is funny is that, and this is again Eli Roth stuff, is that he wants the audience, I don't know if he wants the audience to feel sympathy for them. And even if you are thinking to yourself, oh, he deserved it because he had everything, he has this dreamy life of being an architect and a DJ, I mean, come on. And he cheats on this beautiful Spanish wife. And you like, okay.
Yeah, he betrays also the whole family.
You deserved it. But also, when Keanu Reeves, the main character, gets a chance to explain himself, he goes on, but it was free pizza. You came on to me. This isn't fair. And you realize, yeah, right. It's really unfair.
Because, that's the thing.
Because they're psychopaths.
Till what point you deserve, something? It's like, okay, he made a mistake. He deserved, like you say, some spanking, but. To what extent? Yeah. It's like death. I don't know, and I'm not sure what was the story, or I guess the societal thing behind the first one in the 70s. I guess probably the sexual liberation or something like that. I guess you're kind of right on this movie. Perhaps it's about the hypocrisy of the fact that now. Probably more than half of every couple is getting divorced. Yeah, I'm so sorry to tell you that before your wedding.
Yeah, right.
But that's the. I guess that's again one point of someone's life, which is destroyed by Eli Roth with some horror thing. It's I guess that's the whole Eli Roth credo is about just underlining the hypocrisy of something, whether it's a rich American in a great campus willing to be an activist, whether it's I'm a great dad but I cheat on my wife, whether it's I think everywhere I will go in the world I will be safe in hostel. That's everything you believe in. The real world is there somewhere, lurking around just to give you a good slap in the face.
Yeah. Well, it's because overall, and although I found the movie quite enjoyable and pleasant, I have a bit of a problem because when Eli Roth speaks about himself, he calls himself, he says he's edgy, he says he's bold. And the problem is, I find this movie quite unsavory.
Does he say that?
He says his movies are edgy. And the problem is, this movie, although it's very enjoyable among friends, I think it's unsavory. I think it's juvenile. I don't think it goes farther than the typical American Puritanism thing. Mm-hmm. It's... But on the other end, I don't think it's aimed at. I think it's aimed at being just the casual horror Saturday night film.
Again, just plain fun. He doesn't claim to be something else. But on his behalf, I would say, who else does movies like he does? Because perhaps it's not really groundbreaking in what he's doing, but if you think about it, who does gore with such a great aesthetic, like in Green Inferno? Who talks about the cheating, whatever, and putting the funny games twists in it? It's I guess we are movie buffs, so we already have seen movies that shocked us really more than this one. But on the other hand, in this day and age, who in the US does something like that? I'm not sure there's a lot of
not many
names.
people, and that's thank you for the great transition, because I had a few words to say about the where the horror's at today. And well, the real question is, does the scale go down if there are only terrible movies outside? And the thing is, I think we should remain at a high level of expectations.
Yeah, obviously.
Because in the end, what's next? Are we going to enjoy like bad movies all the time?
Yeah.
So I think the hard horror days are long gone, from the 70s, the 80s, and there is a clear revival in these movies from the great 80s movies, gore thing. And there was this this thing in the 2000 years with the Hostel thing, but it's faded. I mean,
it has faded now because it went mainstream, like everything. And yes, he actually broke ground with Hustle.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. It was the same time as Saw, the Saw saga and everything. We in the horror category, we definitely are waiting for something new, because now, like we said about The Conjuring, and now probably more The Conjuring 2, it's just mainstream movies with jump scares. It's not horror movies anymore, and that's why I want to be kind of nice to Eli Roth, because at least he's not claiming anything else, but I'm going to do a simple but effective horror / gore movie. And I'm talking about the Green Inferno here, but and he does that, and it's I've seen every. I could have predicted the outcome of the movie, yes, but it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, and it's gore. And where do you see gore now? You actually, if you think about it,
besides
for the last 6 to 10 years, what have we seen? In gore, nothing.
I think it's been shifted. It's shifted to the VOD VOD side, as people were used to watch this on VHS in very small groups. Now, and he says this is an internet-funded film, and he says that I want to reach my audience, and if this audience is downloading VOD on a Saturday night, then so be it. I mean, I think the gore is there, but you have to go and find it. I don't think you'll be able to see these kinds of movies today at the multiplex or.
And I think he probably will be the bridge of this coming back. I'm optimistic here, but I think he could be the bridge to those kind of movies coming back to theaters, because we've all said a couple of times that now studio majors are just riddled with fear. They want to have PG-13 movies, they want to be clean, they want to be
Puritan horror films.
Puritan horror films, and just having James Wan again, Fast and Furious director, helm The Conjuring 2, and that there was lame.
It's about time. It's about time he did something like that, because we saw that post 2000, these shockers, the Ring movies, this period of time. These movies, the shockers like this, are long gone. The Haunted House revival is fading. We see the sequels, the Insidious 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And there is also, we didn't mention the lost footage genre, which
kind of shifted now in the science fiction, because at the beginning was Blair Witch. VHS, and there was on the other side Cloverfield.
Yeah.
And
So it's worn out. I mean, it's not the good gamble it once was. It's not as. I mean, it's still profitable because it costs so little money to do it.
Yeah. Well, it depends.
But I really enjoy The Visit recently, which is quite a good item in that genre. But I think the industry is struggling finding the right recipe.
Because they do not want to take a chance. That's the thing. Because if you go back to every example you said, it was about just duplicating some other countries' productions. Because the whole Ring, Dark Water, whatever, there was Japanese movies, and well, sometimes you have just plain unique stuff like Blair Witch Project, which wasn't at all in part of any studios in Hollywood. So it's always capitalizing on a trend that they did not create themselves. So that's why I think, and I've actually just seen that on IMDb, why I believe Eli Roth will go back to the studio, and now I know, because he's about to remake Death Wish, which was the old Charles Bronson movie, and it's supposed to be Bruce Willis. So I guess major thing, perhaps, or perhaps it will be produced by Robert Rodriguez.
Again, it's a remake.
Yeah, it's a remake. But that's the thing. If he kind of comes back to the studio, but with the gore, the Eli Roth thing, perhaps it will again start a trend of, producers loosen up a little bit, I guess, just perhaps giving some more confidence in their directors. I don't know. I know I'm optimistic again, but the thing is, at what point should we say fucking stop wanting to do PG-13 horror movies? It will not work. That's the same thing.
I think that these producers are going to be the next victims on the next Roth flick. Being spanked,
I would love that.
Spanked for being so Puritan all the time.
Yeah, he definitely should do something about that. Well, I think we've kind of come round this up. The Green Inferno, Knock Knock, two movies that are kind of similar in the fact that you just have to choose the right people to watch them
Not on a first date, definitely.
Yeah, definitely not.
So we can rate this as a pack, I think.
Yeah.
I personally going to rate this a good, strong 2.5 yums. Just for the buddy night sake.
Yeah.
Buddy night sake and good, enjoyable moments. But cinematically speaking, it's not that good.
Yeah.
But you have to choose your moment to watch these films.
I just want to say I liked Green Inferno a little bit more than Knock Knock. Even though in Knock Knock, they kind of succeeded to have me really, really irritated by those two girls. I just wanted to fucking slap them in their fucking little faces, because they're, good actresses in this movie, because they were really, so that's, I guess, a plus. But I like the fact that the cannibal flick, we didn't have that for a while, so... I'm going to be a little more gentle because I feel like gentle.
Thanks, Jonah.
Because I feel like, again, Eli Roth did something he wanted to do. I do not feel like he missed the point on anything. So a little, 3 yums. Perhaps 3.5 to have a 3 yums for everything. Right. Because you know what? I liked it. I spent a good time, and that's all.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thanks, Jonah.